Excerpt from Takehito's Tango by Stephen Accardi. The train gained speed and began to pull away from Takehito. His trusty steed's stride faltered from exhaustion after chasing the clanging monster down its tracks. Fearing he wouldn't catch the train, the Japanese cowboy reached for his lasso. The horse huffed. The gap widened. Takehito tossed his rope. Success. The lasso tightened around a spire atop the caboose. Holding his breath, Takehito kicked his boots out from the stirrups and set sailing off his horse and into the air, nearly flying toward the train. But then, just moments before he kicked through the train's back door, he heard a voice. "And what performance will you present at the talent show, Takehito?" It was as though his rope had come loose and he had crashed on the track. The young cowboy jerked his head up from his daydream. Takehito's fifth-grade teacher, Mrs. Klein, had spoken and was glaring down at him now. Takehito had been staring out the window from his desk while Mrs. Klein paced up and down the rows of desks to ask each student what talent he or she would perform for the show. The rest of the class and Takehito's teacher were now staring and waiting for his answer. It was as silent as a graveyard. "Mrs. Klein," Brent interrupted, is daydreaming a talent?" Several students giggled. Brent was the most popular boy in the class. "No, Brent, daydreaming is not a talent, but neither is interrupting your teacher, and you seem to do that as often as Takehito daydreams," Mrs. Klein snapped. Takehito's face popped beet red. He didn't know what to say. Luckily for him, the bell rang, signaling the end of the school day. Takehito quickly gathered his books and got up to leave, but Mrs. Klein stopped him. "Don't even think about having your mother call in sick for you this year. Understood?" He slowly nodded. Mrs. Klein stepped aside to let Takehito pass. As he walked out of the classroom, the last cars of the elevated commuter train rushed by the school's windows. Mrs. Klein worried about Takehito. Last year, he and his mother emigrated from Japan to Chicago. He had not made friends easily. Some of the students in his old class made fun of the way he looked and the way he spoke. When it came time for the end of the year talent show, everyone had teamed up with friends except for Takehito. So he pretended to be sick and convinced his mom that he needed to stay home from school that day. When Mrs. Klein heard about this from the fourth-grade teacher, she was deeply troubled. She saw the talent show as an opportunity for everyone in the class to learn about each other. Therefore, as his teacher this year, Mrs. Klein was determined to get Takehito to perform in the talent show, knowing that if he did, he would establish some friendships before entering junior high. Number 1, Part A. What inference can be made about why Takehito has trouble making friends? A. It is his first day in Mrs. Klein's class. B. The other kids think he is strange. C. He thinks that the other kids are strange. D. He wants to be in the talent show alone. Part B. Which line from the passage best supports your answer in Part A? A. Takehito's fifth-grade teacher, Mrs. Klein, had spoken. B. Is daydreaming a talent? Several students giggled. C. Made fun of the way he looked and the way he spoke. D. An opportunity for everyone in the class to learn. Number 2. What conclusion can be drawn about Mrs. Klein? A. She does not like Takehito because he doesn't pay attention in class. B. She worries about Takehito because he daydreams so much. C. She is determined that every student will participate in the talent show. D. She cares about Takehito and wants him to make friends. Number 3. Read the sentence from the passage, then answer the question below. The rest of the class and Takehito's teacher were now staring and waiting for his answer. It was as silent as a graveyard. Which statement best describes what the author's use of a simile, "it was as silent as a graveyard," adds to the meaning of the passage? A. To show the reader that Takehito wasn't ready to read the passage about the graveyard. B. To help the reader visualize how quiet the room was when Takehito was called on. C. To give human-like characteristics to the graveyard. D. To entertain the reader by using sarcasm. Number 4. What does the use of dialogue tell the reader about the characters Brent and Mrs. Klein? A. The dialogue shows the reader that Mrs. Klein isn't actually Brent's teacher. B. The dialogue shows the reader that Takehito and Brent don't like each other. C. The dialogue shows the reader that Brent speaks out of turn a lot. D. The dialogue shows the reader that Miss Klein was an unfair teacher.